physics class, and let's revise few things which we studied yesterday. Yesterday we studied about nature of image formed by plane mirror, and we will focus on that for a while now. Nature and properties rather. Formed by plane mirror. Okay. The first thing I told you yesterday was there are two reflected rays needed for the formation of image. When two reflected rays cut each other or seem to cut each other, then the image is formed. Let's see it again. Suppose कोई अगर object, this is first incident ray, this is second incident ray, this is first reflected ray, second reflected ray. These two reflected rays won't cut each other on the upper half because they are diverging. So we have to extend them back, and this I is our image, O is our object. Let's focus on the properties of image and nature of the image. First thing first, distance of object from mirror. Suppose this is X. Distance of object from mirror is always equal to distance of image from mirror. And when I am saying distance, what I mean by distance is perpendicular distance. This is also the distance of object from mirror, but this is not perpendicular. When someone says that distance of object from the mirror and distance of image from the mirror is same, what they mean by distance is perpendicular distance. In this case, our distance of object from mirror is x, distance of image from mirror is y, and the first thing is x equal to y. We must remember that distance, perpendicular distance of object from mirror is always equal to distance of image from the mirror. So this is the first and most important point. Second point is nature of image. This image is formed by the intersection of these two reflected rays, but they are not cutting in reality. They are cutting virtually. We have to extend them back to the other side. So nature is virtual. Image is always virtual. In case of plane mirror, these two things we have to remember always, that distance of object from mirror and distance of image from the mirror is always same. Second, nature of image is always virtual. Third, image is always formed on the opposite side of the plane mirror. If object is on the upper side, then image will be formed on the lower side. If object is on the left side of mirror, then image will be formed on the right side of the mirror. Image is always formed on opposite side of object. Fourth, this one is also important, that size of the object is always equal to size of the image. Suppose you are standing in front of mirror, your height is 5 feet 5 inches, then the height of your image in the mirror should be also 5 feet 5 inches. In case there is no magnification, there is no enlargement, there is no diminishing, the size of object and size of image is always same. But these things are only valid for plane mirror, nowhere else. Size of image, by I mean image, is always equal to size of object. So these are four main properties and nature of our image. First thing is distance of object and distance of image from the mirror is always same. Second is image is always virtual in nature because our two reflected rays are not cutting each other. They are cutting each other virtually. Third, image is always found on the opposite side of object. If object is on the left side of mirror, then image must be found on the right side of the mirror. In this case, in this case, our object was upwards. That's why our image is formed downwards. And fourth is size of image is always equal to size of object. We must remember these things. I remember these things. You must also remember these things. Let's move further. The next thing is lateral inversion. This thing may seem to new for you, but you people have already noticed it. The thing is, when image is formed by mirror, things get reversed. By reverse I mean left becomes right and right becomes left. Whenever you see yourself in the mirror, you will see your right shoulder on the left side and your left shoulder on the right side. You can notice these things also when you take pictures from your front camera and your phone. This process is known as lateral inversion. For example, and you can notice this on your home mirror. What can I say? Just bring two things. Place one glass here and place one cup here on your both shoulder. Just go in front of the mirror. Suppose this shoulder has glass. Then in image, this shoulder must have cup. And if your shoulder has cup, then in the image you will see a glass there. Because right becomes left and left becomes right. This phenomena is known as lateral inversion. There is nothing further to learn here. Now, one more thing which you must remember, that location of our image does not depend on the incident rays taken. It doesn't matter how many incident rays you take. Location of image will not change. Let me show you. Do you remember what I told you about formation of image? How many reflected rays we require to form an image? The answer is 2 reflected rays. And for 2 reflected rays, we need 2 incident rays. See, this is our object. What we know is image must be formed on the opposite side. And what I am saying is the location of this image doesn't depend on the incident rays taken or location of the incident rays. Suppose this is our incident ray 1. Why this is incident ray? This arrow symbolizes because this ray is incidented on the mirror. You must make arrows. Now what we have to do? We have to draw normal at this point, normal at incidence point. Now what should happen now is this ray should reflect from here, and this angle must be same by the law of reflection, which says that angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. Now this is our first incident ray, this is our first reflected ray. For the formation of image, we must need another reflected ray. For that purpose, we should have another incident ray. Okay, I took this one. This is our incident ray 1. This is our incident ray 2. This is our reflected ray 1. Now we have draw normal again at this point. This is refracted ray. See. Now the process of image formation is complete. We have two reflected rays. First is R1 and second is R2. As we can see that these rays will not cut in this plane, in this direction, because they are diverging in nature. The distance between them is increasing. So what we have to do is we have to extend them back to the opposite side of mirror, like this. Something like this. Our image is formed here and it is virtual in nature. As we have discussed before, the size of object from the mirror must be equal to size of image from the mirror. What I was trying to tell you is the location of this image doesn't depend on the location of these incident rays. Okay, let's take two incident rays again, but on the opposite side. Suppose this is first one and this is second one. This is our incident ray 3, this is our incident ray 4. Now we have to make reflected rays. For that purpose, what we have to do is we have to draw a normal at both incidence points. Now this is our reflected ray 3. And this is our reflected ray 4. Angle of incidence must be always equal to angle of reflection. Now we have two more reflected rays. One of them is R3 and one of them is R4. Whenever this reflected rays will cut, an image will be formed. But if you extend them further, are they going to cut? They will not, because they are again diverging in nature. The distance between these two reflected rays will increase forever. So what we have to do again is extend them back like this. See, I told you, it doesn't matter how many incident rays you take. Image will always be formed on this point I. It doesn't matter if you take 2 rays, 4 rays, 8 or infinite. They will always come on this point I. See, I made my point and you must remember this, that for one object and one mirror, the number of images will be one only. In case of a plane mirror, the object is single, image will also be single. A mirror cannot form 2 images of a single object. But multiple mirrors can form many images for the single object, which we are going to learn tomorrow.